Welcome to the realm of Millenia, folks. It is your Millennium Mailman here today. So be ye all the entities of all the coils, man, woman, child, spirit, creature, demon, be ye a native, migrator, or even an invader into these lands. You have me here to welcome you to Millenia. All right? Because I will always be world building long after you've already begun to acclimate, fit in, or even hate me. Right? Funny Guy Friday. Trying to get ahead on these videos. Week 7, Devil's Advocate. Patriarchy doesn't have power in America. Only that self-centered nationalism does. Whilst altruistic nationalism would rather see itself and America die in place of some genuine self-care and betterment. Note, that is because that altruistic nationalism inherently thinks that self-centered nationalism is some form of elitism. Ridiculous and not okay, right? So America was founded on an escape from a conquer the world mentality and the mentality of, hey, let's let the United States of America populace live for ourselves and by ourselves. And there's good reason for that. So that being the main center of the discussion today, we're going to move forward. It's my notebook. Move forward with this topic because of that. Topic number 1, point to be pointed out, is that America was founded on that belief of neutrality and personal entitlements to free will, with consequences only being done for the actions that you do that force and or coerce others from their equally entitled free will. America was founded on that belief and the promotion of personal ideologies whilst punishing non-agreed upon social acceptabilities as criminal. And that's just to say, America was founded on the belief that you're entitled to your own thoughts and opinions and beliefs, and certain liberties to be taken with your family, right? And anything that America and the courts have not agreed on as socially acceptable is thus socially criminal. Anything we can't, as a majority, agree is okay and fine to do is thus inherently criminal, and there is criminal charges and consequences that you and anyone else choosing to take those particular course of actions, all of you who do these things, are seen as criminals and will thus be treated as criminals, right? Patriarchy doesn't have power in America. That self-centered nationalism does. America is the world's #1 recognized largest superpower. It is the greatest place of opportunity and longevity on the entire planet. Hands down, people, this is not a question. And we, the American populace, America, the United States of America, are this largest superpower because our neutrality is put first. Americans' neutrality is put first. Put second is our internal national pros and cons conversation of checks and balances. And third in this top 3 category is our international altruism based in empathy. Empathy is put last because #1 is the neutrality that we fought for to allow us to have the free will within our borders. #2 is the internal conversation of what amendments we're trying to make so that we can ensure there is no violation of these rights and liberties we agreed that we fought for when we fought for neutrality. Our neutrality gives us the opportunity to have free will in our borders. #2, that our internal pro and con conversation of we vote with each other, for each other, together, so that we can make this list of socially acceptable things so that everything else is deemed criminal. Number one, American neutrality. We are the world's number one largest superpower because first and foremost, we fought to have neutrality. This neutrality gives us the opportunity to have our own free will within our borders. The free will and opportunity to religion, to our own beliefs and thoughts and opinions. You have free will. Yes, we have neutrality, so we can have free will in the United States of America. Number two, that internal national conversation, that is that democratic conversation and voting rights here, there, and proper vocal representation, right? Number one is neutrality. Number two is that internal debate and conversation, because this internal conversation is what allows us to be able to vote and come up with what is deemed as the social acceptable things to and by the majority of the American populace. And with that, we get to label what is non-criminal, and have always, since the dawn of the United States of America, it was because of that rule number two, that second most important thing, that we have garnished the list of what is socially acceptable and thus non-criminal, and what is not so socially acceptable and thus labeled criminal. Go to prison, execution, right? The socially acceptable and the socially unacceptable, right? And last on the list is then of most important things is that international altruism. It's like, yes, we got everything we wanted in rules 1 and 2. We have free will, and we have determined the extent of what is socially acceptable free will, so that the majority of people can have an equal amount of free will in their own lives, right? And then number 3, now that we have our own free will, we have the borders of what we consider to be socially acceptable free will. What about any and everyone else? Because we do want other people to enjoy this awesomeness we have, that international altruistic empathy. It is last on the list because of the top 3 most important things that made America the recognized world's largest superpower and the greatest place on Earth. On the face of this planet, it is the greatest, because rule number 3 is altruistic empathy internationally. That international altruistic empathy, right? That empathy is last because, like, I believe I used it in the video earlier this week, that argument of when you're on a plane and the plane is crashing and going down, hey, put the mask on yourself. You can't fight for the equality of other people until you have equality your gosh darn self. Until you got equality, no one's going to believe anything you have to say about equality. America has equality of opportunity and free will. America has it. Rules number 1 and 2 establish that on the priority checklist. And that is why we're able to decide whether or not we're going to fight other wars in other nations, bring the battle to them, bring the battle here, or allow it to start and ruffle up. We have that choice to decide, because altruism is last on that list of top 3 things that America prioritizes. It is last. It's still there, but it's last on that list, because Americans do care about the whole world and the entire planet and all of mankind. Americans do, because with our lived experience of how great it is to have free will, be able to think and go about practicing the things we want to do in life, that we very much hope and pray that everyone else around the globe can be able to experience that awesomeness too. I've been drinking water all my life, and let me tell you, that first day I had a beer, it was kind of weird. And that first day I had carbonated drink with all the sugars and the syrup. Oh, golly. It was mind-boggling. That was some fine stuff right there. Water is immaculate, but let me tell you, that sugary sweet goodness drink is something special. Americans can have this altruism to think and consider other people because we already got ourselves situated, right? Those who want to put their altruistic version of nationalism first just want to put that altruistic tendency as the number one priority when, hey, hold a minute, step back. That's not really okay. Because when you put that altruism, sense of nationality first, ahead of everything else, it thus makes neutrality not really all that possible for us. You can't be neutral when you're constantly butting into everyone else's arguments, everyone else's fights, everyone's debate. When we're so altruistic with our sense of nationality and nationalism, we're kind of breaking the boundaries. We're not giving anyone else, and we're especially not giving our own selves that time we need to be able to afford to help people with their problems. That altruistic nationalism is thus inherently a bit too much excessive. It's a form of overexertion that really puts American people in the dirt. Because patriarchy doesn't have power in America. Self-centered nationalism does. And altruistic nationalism effectively would rather see it and its people die in place of some genuine self-care. So so when altruism is put number one, neutrality just cannot exist, or let alone even be maintained. And all that time we could afford to go about doing what we wanted and voting and deciding on things gets thrown right out the window. When you put altruism first, the time we have to afford things is put out the window. Our time to ever fully understand the problems going on and get to know the full truth of things and all these battles and wars going on around us, we'd be perpetually a part of them, zipping through one battle after another battle, because altruism, being the number one priority, got in the way of allowing us the opportunity to decide and figure things out for real. America and Americans' lifestyle was founded on that escape of altruistic conquer and benefit. Because the British, during their colonization era, if you will, for lack of a better word, the British during their colonization area, they were, especially their military units, were under this guise of, I need to do this for you. It is for your betterment and the betterment of our own people. It is for the betterment of everyone, the whole planet, that you submit to us, our king, our queen, because it's just better. I don't really have the time to explain it to you, but you will either submit or be conquered and colonized. Well, you're being colonized regardless, but you will be conquered or killed in the process of this colonization. But I don't have the time, and I'm not all that neutral a party to even really be talking and discussing this with, because this is our finest altruism in the works being used to colonize you. And America was very much founded on that. Absolutely not. We're trying to escape that colonization mentality. We're trading that colonization mentality for civil equalities, for family rights, for protection of our self-entitled liberties of thought through laws, criminal charges, and the processes of checks and balances for the exceptions to the rule. I challenge you to name a single other place anywhere else in the world where that is true. Name me a single other place in the world where they fought without America. They fought to escape colonization for civil equality, family rights, and the protection of your entitled liberties to your own free will. Name another place on earth where the common people especially can actually go out and have civil equality, family rights, and are protected through the laws and military. The military and the laws in place actually protect them and their free will. Name another place on earth structured like that. I'll wait. Because if you say Germany, you're going to get slapped. If you say North, South Korea, Russia, or Japan, most of those Asian communities, you're going to get slapped. Not a single one of them had fought for the escape of their imperialistic natures and those family rights and equalities through the laws in place. Not a single one of them. They fought against it and were forcefully coerced into getting on the train. Hey, what you're doing and all the imperial tyranny is unacceptable because you got us involved. Slap. One sun drop on you, two sun drop on you. Does anyone else have questions? I have a third one. Bet. Dare me to use it. That's what I thought. You like people's free will. That's what I thought. Leave us out of your next fight, or so help us Jesus. We will put another sun in your borders. That's a rather morbid of a funny to do, but it's dead ash. Name another place in the world where the style of what America does is true. Name another place in the world that has escaped that colonization, conquer the world mentality. That didn't include America. I'll wait. I challenge you. Right? The reason you can't think of another place is because patriarchy doesn't exist in America. Only self-centered nationalism does. The final talking point here on this page was that patriarchy is, by definition, a hierarchy in society where exclusively men hold that power to command and do things, which by default is made untrue here in America because women have and hold significant positions of power and government control. And they continually get incentivized and repeatedly the numerous and excessive preferential opportunity to hold those highest positions of government power and authority and control. Patriarchy does not have all that power and authority in America. It simply doesn't. And it hasn't since the dawn of America. Because women have had that ability to get in, especially after the Civil War and World War I and II. Let alone after World War I and II, where women joined the workforce and never stopped. Patriarchy does not exist in America. And oh yeah, this last little side note here was that was for the name anywhere else in the world where that's true. If I even see a single person reference Catholics in this conversation of name a place in the world that fought against conquer the world and colonization, if anyone names the Catholics as if the Crusades didn't freaking happen, as if Catholic and people aren't to this day trying to push for crusades, slapped. You should be slapped in the face, right? I'm not saying you should be shot. No. I'm saying you deserve to be slapped in the back of your head, because clearly, like a busted TV, you're not working right. You're being ridiculous. Okay? But yes, that was week number 7, Devil's Advocate. Patriarchy doesn't have power in America. Only self-centered nationalism does, while altruistic nationalism would rather see itself and the American populace see an unfortunate end in place of genuinely self-care betterment that allowed us to have our free will and continue to have our free will. But hey, that is just me, your Millennium Mailman here today, and that was the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did like and agree, go ahead, press that like button. Display the fact that you agreed or liked anything that was shared in this video. Go ahead, put down in that comment section down below any question, comment, or concerns you might have about the things I mentioned in this video. I will read it and get back to you on a Millennium Mailman Monday, or any day I feel like doing a whole bunch of Q&As. And of course, by all means, click the share button if you think the discussion deserves to be exposed, a bit more exposure and conversation, and subscribe if you feel like it. But I will surely be posting videos every single day until that moment I have my book fully published, because I will be posting every single day until my book is published. It's the Realm of Millenia series. Book number 1 is book number 1, so on and so forth. By all means. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman. Have a good one.